there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. That I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't.
Thank you, everybody. What an honor. Some brave people back there. Very brave people. Wow, look at that crowd. 15,000. More than 15,000. Thank you very much. It's a great honor. I have so many incredible friends here tonight. Thank you. We're going to have some big, big, beautiful weeks ahead of us, I think, huh? More importantly, some very, very great years for our country. I want to begin by thanking General Kellogg. Amazing man, amazing friend. General Flynn, same thing. These are unbelievable people. Congressman Mark Meadows. We have a few great congressmen here. People that have been loyal right from the beginning. I appreciate it very much. Who knew this is where we were going to be, right? This is where we want to be. In 5 days, we're going to win the great state of North Carolina. And we are going to win back the White House, believe me. But you have to get out there and you have to vote. You have to vote. Who's going to be voting? Who is going to be voting on Tuesday? Okay, but who's already voted? That's what I thought. All right, you get out there and vote, because that's the whole thing. You know, we have a movement that this country has never seen. They're writing about it. They're talking about it all over the world, and we want to make sure it happens. Otherwise, to me, not quite the same, right? Not quite the same. We want to get it finished off. So get out there before Tuesday or on Tuesday, and let's finish it off. It's an honor to be here in North Carolina, a place I love. You know, I have right next to Charlotte a very, very successful job. I employ a lot of people. I pay a lot of salaries, and that's good. They're great people. It's a state that's produced many of the finest and bravest soldiers, airmen, sailors, Marines, ever to wear the uniform, known for it. I stand here tonight among true heroes. True heroes. I'm also honored to be among so many military families, wives, husbands, parents, and children who shoulder the burdens of war. Brave people. Let me begin by making you this very solemn promise. I will never, ever let you down. I will tell you that. And you've been let down. You've been let down plenty over the years, believe me. I'm very proud to have the support of so many military and law enforcement groups all across this great nation. We have such incredible support. They're going out there voting. They've already voted. But we have unbelievable relationships with law enforcement and with the military and with our vets, which is the military. Believe me, the military plus two, our great vets, including the support of more than 200 top admirals and generals and 22 Medal of Honor recipients. We have many of them here with us tonight. We're joined by a number of those admirals and generals and 7 Medal of Honor recipients right behind me. And the Medal of Honor recipients with us tonight are Colonel Leon Thorness. Where's Colonel? Where is he? Good. Raise your hand, Fox. Oh, they're so much more brave than me. I wouldn't have done what they did. I'm brave in other ways. I'm brave. I'm financially brave. Big deal, right? He's a real brave. Command Sergeant Major Bob Patterson. Thanks, Bob. We traveled together. Navy SEAL Mike Thornton. We traveled together. Tough cookie. Sergeant Major Benny Atkins. Colonel Joe Marm. And Master Sergeant Leroy Petrie. Thank you. Amazing people. These are amazing people. A lot of amazing people right out here, too. A lot of our friends. Tough cookies. I'm not going to be playing with them, I'm telling you. I'm not going to do that. I saw somebody backstage, big, strong, powerful. I said to the guys, you think I could take this guy in a fight? You think I could take him? They all said no. I said, I agree. Okay. These men displayed to the whole world the unyielding strength, courage, and grit of the United States of America. They went above and beyond the call of duty, thought nothing of their own safety, you understand that, in order to protect their fellow man, and acted with a bravery that will etch their legacy into the history of their nation and this nation. It is their nation. It's our nation. We're going to bring back our nation. We're going to bring it back to greatness like it hasn't seen. Not far from here is Fort Bragg, the second largest military base in the world. It's the home of the 82nd Airborne Division, the most decorated unit in U.S. military, and our Army Special Forces, great people. Know many, many of them, great, great people, who even today are serving in harm's way overseas. Just in the last 24 hours, this country lost 2 soldiers in combat in Afghanistan, and it's a reminder of what our warriors and their families, like those at Fort Bragg and across all of North Carolina, sacrifice for our country. We have a great country, and we have great, great people in this country. And I've seen that over the last year and a half, traveling all over. I've gotten to see so many unbelievable people. We owe them a debt we can never really repay. Our special forces here at Fort Bragg have been the tip of the spear in fighting terrorism. Believe me, we're going to fight terrorism. We're going to get rid of ISIS. We're going to get rid of them fast. All we need is leadership at the top level. You understand what I mean, right? Does everybody understand? Believe me. The war we never win. The motto of our Army Special Forces is to free the oppressed. And that is exactly what they have been doing and what we will do. The military families of North Carolina have shed their blood and poured out their hearts for our country. If given the honor of serving as your president, it will be my solemn duty to ensure the following. All men and women in uniform will have the supplies, the support, the equipment, the medical care, and the resources they need to get the job properly done. Full and proper funding for all branches of the American Armed Services. And that's, you have that from me, folks. Not about the sequester, take away from our military. And you know what I mean. A commitment from our allies to pay their fair share of our military burden. You know, I brought that up. Nobody's ever brought that up, right? But we're protecting people all over the world, and they're not treating us properly. And they will. They will. Our allies will. But somebody has to ask them. I'll ask them. They will. We'll have better relationships than we have right now, far better. And you all understand what I mean. Support for military families, including jobs, education, and housing. The best care in the world for our unbelievable, great veterans. And the veterans have supported me as much as anybody else. And they know what I'm talking about. They have not been treated fairly or properly, both at the public VA facilities as well as the right to see private doctors of their choice if they're not getting the service they need. And you know they're not getting that service. People are waiting in line. Veterans are waiting in line for 7 days, 8 days, 12 days. And I won't mention numbers, but you know what's going on with certain rates of suicide and things. You don't even like talking about it. Hard to believe when you hear the numbers. 22 a day. Hard to believe. Inconceivable. And oftentimes they're waiting for a simple procedure or a simple prescription. And that stuff is not going to happen anymore, folks. You're our great people. You're our great people. You are our great people. It's not going to happen. And finally, a commitment to only engage the use of military forces when it's vital for national security interests of the United States. We will stop trying to build foreign democracies, topple regimes, and race recklessly to intervene in situations that we have no right to be there, folks. We want strength in this country. We want to protect our country. Instead, our focus must be on keeping America safe and on destroying ISIS. We have no choice on that. And defeating radical Islamic terrorism. We will defeat it, and we will defeat it quickly. Any nation that shares our goal of destroying ISIS and defeating terrorists will be our partner in this mission. Under the failed leadership, we will build a wall. This guys, don't worry about it. It will be a great wall. It will be a real wall, folks. It will be a real wall. It will be a wall. Under the failed leadership of Hillary, hey, look, talk about leadership. What leadership? I don't want to use the word in the same sentence. Of Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, ISIS has become a clear and present danger to Europe and the United States. After all of the sacrifice our soldiers have made, Clinton and Obama pulled out the troops on a public timetable, giving rise to ISIS. They call it the big vacuum that was created, and handing Iraq over to the ISIS killers and thugs. Now ISIS is on a campaign of genocide in the Middle East, torturing, drowning, burning people alive, chopping off their heads. Not since medieval time have we seen something like this, folks. And I want to rebuild our country. I want to rebuild our infrastructure, but there are some things that have to be done first. Believe me. ISIS has slaughtered men and women and children in France, Germany, Belgium. And there are now 1,000, never before so many, ISIS investigations going on in the United States. We've seen the bloodshed in the attacks in Orlando, San Bernardino, and the recent bomb plot in New York and New Jersey. Yet as we send brave men and women overseas to fight terrorists in the Middle East, Hillary Clinton wants to fling our borders wide open, allowing those same terrorists to infiltrate our country by the thousands. Obama and Clinton are allowing thousands and thousands to come into our country. Hillary wants a 550% increase in Syrian refugees and virtually unlimited immigration from some of the most extreme and dangerous places in the world to pour into our country. Unthinkable. A Trump administration will suspend the Syrian refugee program and keep radical Islamic terrorists the hell out of our country. And we all have heart, and we don't want to see people hurt. Folks, we all have big hearts, and we want to see people live and be taken care of. We have so many problems, we can't allow this to happen, but we will build safe zones in Syria. We will get the Gulf states to have nothing but money. We owe $20 trillion, if you don't mind, right? Boy, this is a big crowd, man. Look where that goes to. General Flynn is even impressed. He's never impressed, but he's impressed. But this is a big crowd. And by the way, I wish those cameras, the world's most dishonest people, the media, I wish these people would take a look at this crowd, because that's what we have. That's what they never want to do that. It's always right on my face. I go home. I say to my wife, did they show the crowd? No, they just showed your face. I don't want that. There is a big lot of people, over 15,000 people in this field. So we want to build safe zones. We'll do it in Syria. We'll get the Gulf states to put up the money. They'll do it. And, we'll take care of people. But we cannot let what's happening in Germany and Sweden and lots of other places. Look at France. Look at Paris. I have friends that used to go to Paris. They don't go anymore. They say, no, Paris isn't Paris. We can't allow this to happen. San Bernardino, so many other places. Orlando recently, more recently. We know Hillary can't be trusted. We've learned that. With America's security. You take a look at her email situation. Can we trust her with our security? She is disqualified for running for president of the United States. She's disqualified. Most dishonest person ever to run for office. When I look at these great admirals and these great generals and these great Medal of Honor recipients behind me, to think of her being their boss? I don't think so. And they're incredible patriots. They would never say a thing, but I know what they're thinking. It's not for them, believe me. She's under multiple criminal investigations at this very moment for criminal conduct that put the safety of our nation at risk. Just a few minutes ago, CBS News just announced and confirmed that the 650,000, you wonder why things don't get done, 650,000 emails discovered by the FBI include brand new emails not previously seen. Remember when they said they're all duplicates? They're duplicates. Well, how can there be duplicates when 650,000 is even more than all of them that are missing, right? How can there be duplicates? Hillary, therefore, committed perjury, absolutely, because of her statements. In addition to all of her other crimes, probably also in that batch are classified emails at the highest level that would now have been hacked by foreign countries, because you saw today where they said, yep, she was hacked. This is a person that's running for president? Service members here in North Carolina have risked their lives to acquire classified intelligence to protect our country. Hillary thought nothing of putting classified information on her illegal server, which our enemies now have hacked. And as you know, four-star General Cartwright, 2 weeks ago, James Cartwright, somebody respected by a lot of these people, by all of them that I spoke to, can tell you, General Kellogg, General Flynn, great respect for them, for him. He is in such, he could go to jail now for 5 years for doing something that's a tiny fraction of what she did. She's protected by the Department of Justice. And what's going on in our country, this has never happened, ever happened before. And the FBI is in there. They're doing their job, and they're not allowed to be doing their job. What's going on is a disgrace. We know now with almost 100% confidence that at least 5 foreign intelligence agencies bleached the Clinton server. Then she tried to destroy the evidence by deleting the emails after, not before, that was bad, after receiving a United States congressional subpoena. So she gets a subpoena from Congress. And she said, this isn't good. Delete the emails. Hillary created the server to shield her criminal activity and her corrupt pay-for-play scheme, where she sold her office as Secretary of State to donors and special interests. And the FBI has it all. They have it all. They're not allowed to do anything with it because her protector is the Department of Justice. We'll have to change the name of the Department of Justice. In other words, she was more interested in keeping her emails a secret than in keeping our classified intelligence a secret. She was more interested in protecting herself than in protecting the people of the United States. Ending this criminal government corruption is one of the most important reasons you have to go out on November 8th and vote, if you haven't already done it. We also know Hillary can't be trusted with our security because of her disastrous record on foreign policy. No Secretary of State in history has failed in more places, in more ways, than Hillary Clinton. Like Benghazi. In 2009, pre-Hillary, Libya was stable, Syria was under control, Iraq was seeing a reduction in violence, and ISIS wasn't even on the map. We didn't know what ISIS was. They didn't exist. Fast forward till today. Libya is in ruins. Syria is in the middle of a catastrophic civil war. Iraq is in total chaos. And ISIS is spreading across the region, into Europe, into America. They've launched a campaign of genocide against Christians all over the world. They're in 32 countries. Yet, after all of this, Hillary Clinton can't even say the words radical Islamic terror. Can't say the words. She won't say the words, and our president won't say the words. And unless you're going to know what the words are, or unless you're going to admit what the problem is, you're never going to solve the problem. She won't say the words. He won't say the words. He'll tell you for a half an hour why he won't say the words. At the end of the half hour, people look and say, what's going on? Anyone who cannot name the enemy cannot lead the country. Another reason we know Hillary can't be trusted with our security is, as that gentleman right there has been shouting out all night, Benghazi. Let me make this very clear. A Trump administration will honor that sacred pledge to leave no man or woman behind. on top of everything else, we have the disaster. We have the disaster of humiliation in Iran. Our sailors were forced to their knees because they were a little off course. Remember that? The humiliation of the 10 sailors? They feel ruined and permanently humiliated. They humiliated our country after we signed a deal that was one of the dumbest deals I've ever seen in my life. It's going to be a path to nuclear weapons within 10 years. They'll be much quicker than that. We gave them, remember? We gave them all of that money. We gave them 1.7 billion in cash. They thought it was 400 million. You know what 1.7 billion in cash is? That's like, we could get the generals, the admirals, the Medal of Honor winners, get them off the stage because we wouldn't have enough room to put them. That cash would fill up that stage and more. We gave him in cash, and it was a ransom. He said it wasn't a ransom, another lie. Just like he lied about, remember, Obamacare. You can keep your doctor, you can keep your plane. He lied. Well, he lied about this. And now Iran is demanding billions more in new ransom payments because they've got some other people. They want billions more. So we made a horrible deal. This is what happens when you make bad deals. They become emboldened because they think you're stupid people. They're circling our ships with their little boats. And who knows what they're saying. I think I know what they're saying without even asking. They're going next to our planes with their fighter jets. They became emboldened. With all of the money, all of the humiliation, we gave them $150 billion back, and they become nastier. And they were in trouble. When Obama started, when Hillary started that deal, she started it, by the way, they were in deep trouble. We could have made a great deal. Sometimes you have to walk and walk and walk. But we made one of the dumbest I've ever seen. Hillary put them on a path to regional dominance and nuclear weapons. Because of our failed leaders, including from the campaigner-in-chief, Obama. This guy does nothing but campaign. You know, I said the other day, I said, let him work on bringing our jobs back from Mexico, who stole our jobs. Let him work on building up our very depleted, you know it better than anybody, our depleted military, the greatest people in the world. We have fighter jets that are so old they don't make parts to them anymore. You people know this better than me. We have to go to airplane graveyards and museums to get parts for our fighter jets that we're currently using. He ought to be doing that. He ought to be working on our borders. He ought to be working on crime. Instead, he's campaigning with somebody that's under FBI investigation. America is not respected, sadly, around the world because of our leadership. And at home, our cities have seen an alarming rise in violence. Communities are trapped in poverty. And 400,000, think of it, we have so many people that are living badly. So many people. We have over 40,000 homeless veterans, even as we spend trillions of dollars to support illegal immigration. You have illegal immigrants that are treated far better than our great veterans. That's not going to happen anymore, folks. Hillary Clinton wants to send American troops to defend our borders and the borders of foreign countries, but refuse to protect the borders of our own country. And without borders, we don't have a country. Isn't it amazing? We spend billions of dollars to protect borders and to establish borders of countries. But the United States essentially doesn't have borders. America needs a turnaround, needs it now. America needs new leadership quickly. That begins with restoring respect for America and restoring respect for the American flag. I haven't liked what I've been seeing, and neither have you. It also means rebuilding our depleted military. A Trump administration will immediately reverse the Obama-Clinton defense sequester. The Army is the smallest it's been since before World War II. Did you know that? The Navy is the smallest since World War I. The admirals back there know it. They're not happy. You're not happy, admirals, right? They're not happy. The Air Force is the smallest and oldest it's ever been, just about since inception. My plan will grow the Army to 540,000. That's the number they want. That's the number they feel comfortable with, the great generals. 540,000 active troops, which the Army Chief of Staff has really reported on very strongly. That's what they need. That means more brigade combat teams at Fort Bragg. Fort Bragg, by the way, the reputation of Fort Bragg, great. The men and women of Fort Bragg, great. It's great. We will build the 1,200 modern fighters our Air Force needs. These are the jets. And that means more planes flying out of locations like Seymour Johnson Air Force Base and Marine Corps Air Station Cherry Point. Our Marine Corps will grow from 27 to 36 battalions. I don't know, maybe you like it the way it is, a little nice and easy. No, you want it to grow, right? It needs to grow. And that's going to mean a lot more Marines at Camp Lejeune. I've been to Camp Lejeune. And new military technologies will be produced at the Research Triangle right here in North Carolina. In summary, my policy can be based on three very important words: peace through strength. We need it. We need it. We need it. Almost as much as ever before, we need strength. We need strong military. Strength also means, yes, I agree. Strength also means we need to save America's economy. That begins with immediately repealing and replacing Obamacare. It's a disaster. It's a disaster. It's just been announced that the residents of North Carolina are going to experience a massive double-digit premium hike. 95 of 100 North Carolina counties will have only one insurer in Obamacare exchange next year. Lots of luck negotiating that one, folks. That's not going to be easy. But it doesn't matter, because if I win, we're terminating it. We're going to have great insurance, so that's all. Doesn't matter. Not going to matter. Yet Hillary Clinton wants to double down on Obamacare, making it much more expensive than it already is, which is ridiculous. And it's horrible health care and you don't even get to use it. I'm asking for your vote so we can repeal Obamacare and save health care for every family in North Carolina and this country. At the core of my contract with the American voter is my plan to bring back our jobs. North Carolina is a very vivid example. Lost nearly half of its manufacturing jobs since NAFTA, a deal signed by Bill Clinton and supported by Hillary Clinton. America has lost, tell this in front of all of these brave, incredible people behind me, 70,000 factories. Think of it, 70,000. I thought it was a typo when I first read it 2 weeks ago. 70,000 factories since China entered the World Trade Organization. Another Bill Clinton disaster, backed very strongly by Hillary. We are living through the greatest jobs theft in the history of the world. The history of the world. There's never been anything like this. We have like major highways. It's a one-way street into Mexico and other countries. We lose our jobs, we lose our factories, we lose our plants, we lose our wealth. We end up with drugs and unemployment and crime. A Trump administration will stop the jobs from leaving America, and we will stop the jobs from leaving North Carolina. We will stop it. Consequences. The theft of American prosperity will finally end. They have taken away our prosperity. Believe me, we're in a bubble. They have taken away our prosperity. If a company wants to fire their workers, move to another country, and then try to ship their products back into the United States, where we will now have a very, very strong border, we will apply a 35% tax on all of those goods. And you know what's going to happen? Those companies will never leave. It's very simple. It's very simple. They'll never leave because the model no longer works. A Trump administration will renegotiate totally NAFTA, this disaster called NAFTA. And if we don't get the deal we want, we will terminate NAFTA and get a much better deal for our workers. We will also stop, and I mean immediately, the job-killing Trans-Pacific Partnership that's being talked about right now. That'll be another NAFTA, although nothing's as bad as NAFTA. But we will stop it. That'll take the rest of your jobs. As part of our plan, thank you. I love you too. Tough guy over there. He's a rough-looking guy. He says he loves me. I don't know. I don't know, but I love him. I love you all, believe me. As part of our plan, thank you. As part of our plan to bring back jobs, we are going to lower taxes on American business from 35% to 15%. We will become a rich nation again. But to be a rich nation, we must also be a safe nation. Hillary supports total open borders, there goes your country, and supports sanctuary cities like in San Francisco, where Kate Steinle, the great, beautiful, wonderful person, Kate Steinle was murdered by an illegal immigrant who had been deported perhaps more than 5 times. A Trump administration will cancel all federal funding to sanctuary cities. Very simple. We will deport all criminal aliens, stop the drugs from pouring into our communities, and we will protect American workers. It's time. And that's just the beginning. Just think about what we can accomplish in the first 100 days of a Trump administration. We're going to have the biggest tax cut since Ronald Reagan. Hillary Clinton is raising your taxes substantially. She's going for a major tax increase, remember that. We're the highest taxed nation in the world, and she wants a tax increase. I don't think so. We're going to eliminate every unnecessary men and women of law enforcement. We will save our Second Amendment, which is under siege, and appoint justices to the United States Supreme Court who will uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. It's time to cut our ties with the failed and bitter politics of the past, and they are failed and they are bitter. Hillary Clinton, if she's even allowed to run, is the candidate of yesterday. We are the movement of the future. We. I'm just the messenger, folks. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Great people. Great, great people. Thank you very much. You're the ones. You're the ones. I'm the messenger. But I have done a good job as a messenger, you have to say. I mean, we've done a good job. You know, I was on the other side. You know that. I was like, when you talk about insider, who was a better insider than me? But I love this country. I saw what was happening to our country. And I said, I have to do this. Hard work. It's hard work. But I have to do this. And we're going to make our country great again. You watch it fast. We are asking for the votes of Republicans, Democrats, Independents, and first-time voters, of which there are many. You take a look at the lines in Florida. You take a look at the lines right here. You take a look at the lines in Texas and in Georgia and all over. It is unbelievable what's going on. I'll tell you, you talk about movement, it is a real movement. Never had anything like this in this country. And even the pundits, even the ones that don't like me, they say there's never been anything like what's, you just take a look at this field. We are fighting for every citizen who believes that government should serve the people, not the donors and not the special interests. We are fighting to unlock the potential of every American community and every American family who hope and pray and yearn for a better future. With your vote in just, can you believe this, 5 days, can you believe it? Started on June 16th, June 16th of last year. And look where we are. Look where we are. Such progress, such unbelievable progress. We're just 5 days away from the change you've been waiting for your entire life. Be very happy. You're going to remember this night as a very important night. And you are going to remember your vote, hopefully as the greatest vote you have ever cast, because our country will start winning again. We're going to win. We're going to win with trade. We're going to win at the borders. We're going to win with our great military. We're going to knock out ISIS the way it should be. You know, I tell the story of Mosul, and I heard about Mosul for a long time. You know, we had Mosul. It was only the way Obama got out that we lost it. Now we're trying to retake it with great, great people. But I said, whatever happened to the element of surprise? Because about 4 months ago, I heard, you know what I'm talking about. They know what I'm talking about better than anybody. I said, whatever happened to the element of surprise? So 4 months ago, I hear, we are going to go in and take Mosul. I said, I don't want to hear it. Just do it. Do it quietly. Don't talk about it. And one of the reasons we're going to take it is we are going to get the leaders of ISIS who are in Mosul. I said, wait a minute, these are smart people. If they think you're going in, they're going to leave. And they're going to build up and leave lots of people behind. And you see what they're doing, right? It's much tougher than they thought. Then I heard 3 months ago again, we're going into Mosul. We're going to get the leaders. Then 2 months ago. Then 1 month ago. I kept saying, why are they doing this? What's wrong with talking about it? Not at all. Let's have a news conference in a week after it's done. Okay? So as you know, they have a very tough fight going on now. And the leaders have all left. I could have told you that. They left. You know when they left? About 2 minutes after hearing the first one. Right? And they're someplace else right now. We are led by stupid people. Okay? We're led by stupid people. And one of them is campaigning just too much. So we have a great country. Together we will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. God bless you, everybody. Special people. You are special people. God bless you. Get out and vote.
saw her today at the reception, a glass of wine in her hand. I knew she was gonna meet her connection. At her feet was a footloose man. You can't always get what you want. You can't always